Bikini Bottom is absolutely overflowing with robots, which is strange to think, considering this is an underwater town we're talking about. Yet, despite electricity and water never being a great pairing, we've got robots like this.
Good day.
Robots setting fire underwater.
They're tearing each other apart!
And then we have robots that keep you terrified under the covers at night. Like I said, there are a lot of robots under the sea. And today, we're covering them all. From AI assistants, mechanical monstrosities, and everything in between. We're gonna find out what makes each and every one of them tick. And I don't think I'd be doing my job right if I skipped over or didn't start with the most iconic robot in the series, Plankton's computer wife, Karen. And right off the bat, Karen is a bit complicated to say the least because she's got a lot of different forms. For most of the early seasons of SpongeBob, she was nothing but a giant screen stuck onto Plankton's wall.
Typical day of failure, I see, huh, darling?
That's probably what most people think of when they think Karen, besides like the stereotype they see at the local supermarket, of course. However, that big mounted screen isn't her only form, as starting in the first SpongeBob movie, Karen would become much more mobile than her usual self.
This is how we will succeed. P-O-A-N-K-T-O-N.
Yeah, Karen's got wheels. Her snarkiness can now spread all across the ocean. Lovely. And shockingly, Karen actually has yet another version of herself. See if you can figure out its key feature from this clip. If you guess that Karen's mobile form now has arms, then you win. If you didn't figure that out, I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe get some glasses? But yes, that's 3 whole forms to Karen. Screen, mobile screen, and mobile screen with arms. And we're still not done. Because as it turns out, Karen hasn't always just been a screen. In fact, her roots are a little unexpected, as we see in Plankton the movie. Plankton's in need of a pal because his family constantly pushes him around, and sure enough, he makes a friend the only way he can. Science.
Do you have a name? Karen! Your name is Karen!
Yeah, Mr. White. Yeah, science! Yeah, so if I had to place my bets, I wouldn't have guessed Karen started out as a potato-powered calculator, but here we are. However, as awesome as potato batteries are, Plankton realized once he got to college that it was finally time to give Karen an upgrade. I mean, he needed to cheat on his homework somehow. No, I'm not kidding. That's the reasoning Plankton had in the movie. And while yes, she got the screen we've all come to know and love to go along with it, Plankton outfitted her with 4 new computer chips.
A smart chip to keep her informed, a snarky chip so she'd be sassy, an evil chip so she'd be as evil as me, and an empathy chip so she could feel my pain.
Well, now we know that the snarkiness can be removed at any time. I guess a good old Sheldon J. Plankton's just into that sort of thing. Still, though, it's interesting to see that Karen's personality was upgraded and shifted over from a calculator. I gotta imagine that's the same way she shifts from stationary monitor to the rolly screen as well. So now we know Karen's version history and how she operates and why she was made, so now it's time for the fun part. What are the things can she do? Well, for the starters, Plankton decided to give her the sense of smell, which didn't work out too well for her in the episode A Single Cell Anniversary.
How was your day?
Dear Neptune, Plankton!
Considering she lives in the chum bucket, I can't exactly tell you what Plankton was thinking when he added that one. In her first appearance, we also see a recurring ability of hers, a compositional analysis.
Ingredients of whatever I put into it.
50% C, 50% weed.
I don't think it'd take a genius to find out that seaweed is weed in the sea. But you know what, maybe I'm just smarter than the average bear. I'm not a bear. As well as that, she also fixes him dinner. If that's what you would call this.
Synthesize me up some grub.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Holographic meatloaf again. Oh, goody.
Hey man, I'd be careful the way you talk about that holographic meatloaf. Karen could put a virus in it next time if she won. And of course, it wouldn't be a Sheldon J. Plankton invention if it didn't have a weapon attached to it.
Did you see the pretty laser, honey?
I don't think that death ray would pair well with a SAS chip, but you know this isn't my computer, so who am I to judge? But alright, with all that tech behind her, there's gotta be a weakness, right? What could stop this ray gun wielding computer consciousness? Well, it's gotta be something big, right? I'm sure she's got some like firewalls, both literally and metaphorically. I've gotta know, what's Karen's kryptonite?
I'm crying with tears of joy!
But you're shorting out.
Oh yeah, of course. Water. I mean, duh. Water shorts out computers. That makes total sense. How the frick does she function underwater? Also, fun fact, Karen's got an emergency reboot personality, the EMILP, aka the Emergency Mother-in-Law Program.
Plankton, what have you done to my daughter? You made her cry. You know she could have been with an ATM. Someone with money.
And now you know. Short out Karen, face the wrath. Sorry, Sheldy. First rule of family dynamics. No spouse is ever good enough in the eyes of the in-laws. Speaking of Karen, let's get an upgrade. Behold, Karen 2.0.
She's got triple the processing, all the latest software, and a sleek space-age design.
I mean, Karen's been rolling around for years at this point, so it makes sense she'd be out of memory. That's where Karen 2.0 comes in clutch, if your name is Plankton, of course. For the OG Karen, she's rightfully furious, and decides to whip out the old laser beam in retaliation.
I accessed the chum bucket's power grid.
Alright, cool, so Karen 2 can also just hack power grids. That's always a good power to leave in the hands of someone like Plankton. Anywho, I'm gonna make a long story short and tell you that Karen 2 ends up fighting Karen the Classic at the Krusty Krab. And after the new model accidentally runs over Plankton, the OG computer gets physical.
Homepage wrecking, hussy.
Oh, Karen 2, we hardly knew you. I mean, seriously, all we knew about her was that she didn't have arms, had better memory than the original model, and she could shut off the power at your local hospital if she wanted, though. Well, okay, there's one more thing we know about Karen 2. After Karen 1 passes out, Plankton needs to charge his ex-wife up fast.
I hope this works.
She got a battery in the back. Okay, both of them are powered by what I'm gonna assume is a single D-size battery, so, like, how advanced could these two really be, actually? While we're on the topic of can replacements, there are 3 more I'm just gonna lump into one overview here. These are the suckers from the episode Computer Overload. First up, the T119A Compumatic.
Good morning, T119A. They're supposed to do that.
I mean, for a toaster on wheels, essentially, it lasted a second longer than I was expecting. Then we have the Super SPU-31. According to Plankton, this is a super powerful liquid-cooled robot. What is its purpose? Frick if I know, but it can technically do this. Well, so far we're 0 for 2. Shortly the... Okay, what is this one exactly?
It sort of just looks like an old hairdryer taped to the back of a miniature windmill.
Oh, right.
Well, alright. These robots clearly look a bit underwhelming, but when it comes to abilities, they're oddly not slacking.
They're tearing each other apart!
So the blow dryer thing actually blows fire instead of air. Again, let's not question how fire works underwater. It's a miracle electricity works underwater. Let's instead focus on how even with these cool abilities, right? The robots are only attacking each other, pointless machines. Like even the liquid-cooled bot has a secret ability, and it's just as counterintuitive as everything else these robots have.
Well, it's good to see that strategy didn't fall flat.
It's got a squish Plankton button. How convenient for anyone but Plankton. But alright, despite all that, I'm surprised to say that these robots aren't entirely useless. All it takes is a little teamwork to get things up and running at full power.
I'll show them all!
And believe it or not, this collage of failure-trons manages to set Bikini Bottom ablaze before making a warpath towards the Krusty Krab. But just as it's about to destroy the entire restaurant...
Hey, what gives?
And we're right back to being useless. How did it even terrorize Bikini Bottom with a cord that short? We had a machine that spewed fire and had a spinning saw blade, and even that went to bust because of Plankton's technological mistakes. Once again, everything comes crashing down. And you know what? Let's just get another set of iconic Plankton bots out of the way. I promise there's more to this list than just Plankton's robots, by the way, just hang with me here. But I'd be absolutely failing at my job if I didn't talk about Plankton's second most famous robot creation, Robot Crimes. But before we talk about him, we gotta get the other robot from that episode out of the way.
Guys, that formula is as good as mine.
So we got yet another robot on wheels. So this time Plankton's able to sit on top and pilot this thing. And for some reason it's got a swappable mirror hand. I guess that's always handy. The thing literally has its bolt showing on the side though. So how good of an imposter is this really? Who could this hunk of metal actually fool? Ah, who am I kidding? I know who.
Are you SpongeBob SquarePants? Then you've just won $1 million!
And you know what? I could be mad at SpongeBob for being so gullible, but I gotta give this robot suit credit. Look at how animated its face becomes when it looks like Spongy's about to give up the secret formula.
Yes? Yes? Yes!
Those eyes and mouth are not moving like a bunch of scrap metal, I'll tell you that much. That looked pretty organic, all things considered. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but I'd like to think Plankton's kind of nailed animatronic technology. I mean, that much fluidity in the face has got to use some form of advanced tech. But ultimately, Plankton blows his cover, and the green fish suit is cast aside for a far more iconic robot suit.
Squidward.
What now, Mr. Krabs?
That's right. I am Crab.
Alright, while that may be iconic, that's an even worse fake suit than the green fish guy we just saw. More visible bolts, you can see the borders between metal plates. Like, this guy doesn't even have a moving mouth, it's just a fracking speaker. Now, thankfully, Squiddy doesn't buy this formula-stealing mech suit, but SpongeBob... yeah, no.
Ooh, you're so cold.
That's just my metal suit.
This guy may be a sponge, but he's still the second densest creature under the sea, right next to the tubby sea star, of course. But again, I gotta hand it to Plankton. What this robot lacks in realism, he makes up for in tech. I mean, first up, when it looks like the real Krabs is gonna bust in on his imposter, Plankton turns the giant towering crustacean mech into a toaster. See, that's the type of stealth Plankton should be using. And when he's not using that, he should be using firepower like this.
I didn't know you had heat vision.
Why is Plankton not stealing the formula by force again? Those eyeballs have got to be able to heat up to a wicked high temperature to be able to just vaporize that garbage bag, meaning the battery in that robot suit. It's got to be insane. And they got to be pretty durable to handle that type of heat. I mean, thank frick there aren't any flames bursting out. Neptune knows how hot those would be.
No can do, Mr. Krabs.
Alright, considering we just saw the trash bag getting disintegrated, now might be a good time to run, SpongeBob. However, just like every Plankton invention, it ends up falling apart at the last second.
Don't forget your lucky penny.
Yoink.
Coin-operated self-destruct.
So why would Plankton never put a self-destruct button in that machine? When is a self-destruct button ever a good idea? That just makes zero sense. Get it? Like money? 'Cause it's coin-operated? Also, if that thing blew up, that also means the whole thing is technically a bomb, so that whole mech suit's basically a giant rolling weapon of war. Why is Plankton not straight up threatening war for the formula? And while we're talking about imposters, here's another imposter customer bot that Plankton made. He's not even trying to hide that this one's a robot.
I think I will sample their wares.
A machine made to look like a customer.
I mean, we saw how much of a brainlet the sponge was earlier. This is not shocking. However, what the robot orders is...
I'd like an order of chili coral bits.
You sure you don't want a Krabby Patty?
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, you'd really expect a blatant Plankton bot to try and order a Krabby Patty, but I guess not. Though don't you worry, you may also expect a Plankton bot to be equipped with a death ray, and I'm happy to report this one didn't disappoint.
Good day.
Anywho, that's hilarious. It's nothing groundbreaking, pretty much just a worse robot Krabs. Also, yeah, Plankton was in the dollar, not the robot. That was his scheme. Why didn't Plankton just make the robot blast Krabs? He has a death machine, and he does anything but use it effectively. And while we're on the subject of weapons of war, let's talk about the Security System 5000, aka the thing that makes Squidward's house do this. That's insane. But first, we need the context. So after SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally ruin Squidward's Sunday, old Squiddy gets a little fed up and decides to make sure his neighbors can't drop by his place ever again. So Squidward gets his hands on the Security System 5000 and it sets everything up, including the central hub. One issue, it only functions if it detects a threat, and SpongeBob and Patrick aren't seen as threats. Squidward beats on the machine to try and get it to attack, and attack it does, just not who he wanted it to.
Threat detected.
I mean, that thing is just straight up rearranging Squidward's molecules. I don't wanna know what type of lasers or rays are used to do that, but it's impressive to think that little pink TV screen is responsible for such danger. Oh, and speaking of danger, SpongeBob drops a cake on the system's central computer, and well, you can probably guess the rest. Again, what kind of battery does that thing have? The security system can sprout legs, operate a giant mech suit that, may I remind you, can cause citywide mayhem. Nothing quite like hellfire and brimstone under the sea. I take back what I said about self-destruct buttons earlier. This would be a good time to have one. Oh, but don't you worry. On that note, as if this entire situation wasn't preposterous enough,
Off button seems suspicious.
big red off button. Yep. Why didn't SpongeBob just press that immediately? I mean, this is tech we haven't seen at all in real life. Beyond the molecule arranging laser, this thing can adapt to any home it's attached to automatically and turn it into a mecha kaiju that can withstand blasts from tanks and then crush them. This isn't a tier list video, but screw it. S-tier robot right here. Dangerous beyond comprehension. You know what I'm missing right about now? More plankton robots. What, just me? Actually, for this next one, it may be more accurate to say it's Karen's robot. That didn't give things away. It's time we talk about Chip 2 from the episode Karen's Baby. And I mean, it covers all the baby bases right from the very get-go. It's got a stork and all. Just like Karen, looks like this computer is starting off as a calculator. Odd bit of continuity, but I respect it. While Plankton's not a fan of the kid, Karen's already going off and naming the little tyke.
Well, don't you want to know the name? It's Chip. He's named after my grandfather. Oh.
Well, now we have even more Karen lore. Her grandfather was a computer chip. So wait, if she grew from a calculator into a computer, did Grandpa Chip just stay a chip? Is Karen the next evolutionary step for computers in Bikini Bottom? This is hurting my brain. Well, eventually Chip 2 ends up learning how to walk, and once he does that, this happens.
Mama's big boy is upgrading.
They grow up so fast. I mean, you would too if you could receive updates over the internet. So I think this is just generally confirming that Karen is sort of, a supercomputer that can evolve, and Chip is no different. Though I may go as far as to say that Chip is a step above his mother. Take a look at what he can do with this arcade cabinet. This guy can hack himself into a game just by running into its gears, so he's probably got some form of virus software where he can just install himself into tech. I'm keeping him away from my laptop. And when Chip's mom feels things are getting a bit too dangerous, the little kid feels like it's time for another upgrade.
You just wait until What did you just say to me?
Oh boy. We got an angsty teenage computer that's swearing at his mom because it's cool. He must be running Windows 8. As all good rebels do, Chip eventually runs away from home. And while it looks like Plankton's forced to run off and save him, it ends up being Chip that saves his father. And now that Chip has a fully functioning, happy family, it's time to take his next steps. He's upgraded to a mini Karen. Only difference is he's got a backpack and it isn't just for show. Chip heads off for college, and 8 semesters later, we finally learn what he majored in. I guess hating Eugene Krabs runs in the family. Good on Chip for going into finance, though. I'm gonna assume that's what he did at least. I mean, he's an ATM now. Is that its own separate study? Well, I mean, whatever it is, Chip's shown that he is maybe one of the most sophisticated robots in the series. I don't want to bring up AI too much in this video because Lord knows we see it enough in the world right now, but I swear this guy learns from his surroundings and improves with each passing moment like an AI model, except this time, that growth is reflected on the outside too. I'm just glad he went into business and didn't study the art of war or anything. We could have a Skynet situation if Chip falls into the wrong hands. Now that we've seen Karen's baby grow from birth, it's time we do the same with Plankton. That may sound weird, but it makes sense, I promise. This little robot duck is called QT Pie, and you're gonna have to trust me when I say it might be the scariest thing I've ever seen in this show. And I remember Red Mist Squidward. Things start when Plankton, tired of being seen as cute for his size, decides to use some Pavlovian conditioning on the residents of Bikini Bottom and teach them that cute means evil through this.
Revenge bot model QT Pie.
This thing's got the cuteness down. Now apparently all it needs is to hear someone say, "Aww," and it'll go berserk and imprison them in its inescapable stomach jail. We just need a test subject. Maybe not ideal for Sheldon, but good heavens, that is terrifying. We got another morphing robot on our hands, but this one doesn't just stop at wrecking buildings, it straight up eats people. Naturally, when SpongeBob brings the robot duck into the Krusty K, things go haywire. Mr. Krabs didn't even say, huh? This thing has a mind of its own. This doesn't even feel like it belongs in a show like SpongeBob. This is some Gravity Falls type stuff right here. Like also, tell me this, How does the stomach hold all those people when the evil robot bird turns back into a duck? Is the stomach some sort of pocket dimension or something? Honestly, with how terrifying things are already, I wouldn't put cosmic horror above this thing. Heck, even SpongeBob eventually catches on to this thing's evil deeds. I mean, if ever there were a good time to catch on to a robo facade, this was the right time for SpongeBob to do so. Props to him. Though eventually Spongie's caught and eaten, which isn't exactly a bad thing, as he's the last person needed to climb up and reach the emergency escape uvula, which, yes, frees everyone inside in an absolutely disgusting fashion. I'll leave it up to you if you'd rather deal with the reality that you were crapped out by a robot bird for the rest of your life or just stay in the belly jail. Now that we've covered one of the newer robots, let's cover another classic, Plankton's robotic chef.
Command you to make me a patty this instant. I'll be forced to remove your brain and implant it in my robot chef.
Honestly, another terrifying robot. Not as much as that evil bird, but having your brain removed and slapped into a cold, empty shell? Yeah, I wouldn't want that to happen to even my worst of enemies. So after Plankton wins SpongeBob's employment from Mr. K in a card game, Plankton tries to spoil his new cook until he gives up the Krabby Patty secret formula, but when SpongeBob becomes a spoiled frackin' brat, Plankton gives up and goes with this nuclear option, putting SpongeBob's brain in the metal suit and forcing him to do whatever he wants.
I want you to make me a Krabby Patty!
Why don't you ask me later?
What?
Well, alright, now we know what that machine is. It doesn't brainwash the brain, it's just a different body for it to inhabit and control. A colder, more robotic body, but still the same person. Creepy, but hey, worked out well for SpongeBob, who just got his brain moved over to his usual organic body by the end of the episode. Great invention, Plankton. Real swell. Want to know another example of an invention working out swell for Sheldon? Well, look no further than the Chumbot, another towering robot that can level entire cities. So what is it actually used for?
You'll be forced to eat at the chum bucket!
You mean you kidnapped us just to sell us your fast food?
It grabs civilians and dumps them into the chum bucket. See, what I've learned is that Plankton is fully capable of making a game-changing robot or two. This one looks like the sleekest of bots yet. It's just, he doesn't know how to use them properly. Again, we have another robot that can do this. And yet here he is, only using it to abduct customers that will never be, or to tell Mama Krabs he has a crush on her. Only by happenstance did he, wreck downtown Bikini Bottom with the thing. And in the end, even after Sheldon manages to get Mama Krabs on a date, after things start looking like they're gonna go his way, his invention gets in the way yet again.
There's somebody else, isn't there?
Very uncomfortable. I'll just wait in the car.
This little green genius made a giant robot that could destroy cities, and he decides, you know what? It needs to be able to love. Why? He literally just cost himself his potential girlfriend because of that one stupid decision. Oh, and yeah, Mama Krabs actually was cheating on Plankton with that thing. This robot can wreck cars, buildings, has laser beams, a consciousness, and apparently an unholy amount of riz. Must have one of those chatbots embedded in it or something. Okay, after seeing that one, we need to look at a bit more of a level-headed person's creation. It's time for our first Sandy creation of the video, the fully automated Nutcracker. And dude, let me tell ya, this thing can't crack nuts. Why the frick is it called the Nutcracker? You know what, Sandy's real lucky her bosses are monkeys, because that one worked out in the end, but I don't even know what to say. How do you accidentally make a banana peeler out of a nutcracker? This is just... Okay, alright. Plankton's robots may be bafflingly dumb, but Sandy's are just baffling in general. Speaking of baffling Sandy inventions, next up...
And this is the robot warehouse. It's where I keep all my robots.
Sandy just has a shed full of robots, and apparently some of them go missing sometimes. So while she's away, SpongeBob has to count and make sure none of them run off. FNAF style, I guess. What were these robots even made to do exactly? Well, that doesn't answer anything. One robot just fell into the other and then, well, everything in Sandy's tree dome got destroyed. Did Sandy just make these guys to fight so she could have free live entertainment? I mean, these guys literally do nothing else ever. Well, again, I'm kinda at a loss for words. I mean, like, what's the point of making robots like this? Moving on, whatever those last guys were, we got quite an odd one, actually. For a rare instance, we're talking about a robot that isn't tied to Plankton or Sandy. No, this time, we got a robot spatula from France. And as is everything from over there, it's pretty cool. I mean, at least we know its purpose.
Have fun.
A spatula with a mouth, in more ways than one. Just because it's cool don't mean it's not a little weird. It all starts after SpongeBob is tasked with making a monster Krabby Patty, which is exactly what it sounds like. Monster-sized portions, including the patty, and when Sponge Guy goes to flip the massive mound of meat... Yeah, kinda horrifying way to go for SpongeBob's OG spatula, and as you'd imagine, SpongeBob hates the idea of getting a replacement one, but is left with no choice once his old pal Spat is sent to the hospital. Luckily, SpongeBob comes across the ultimate replacement, and after he forks over all of his earthly possessions to buy it, pants included, it looks like he's about to take his fry cooking skills to the next level.
Les Spatula 3000 at your service.
10 whole spatulas in one, with a nifty little robot voice too. Though it turns out that this thing has more than just a voice, it's got a full-on AI personality.
I would not dare touch such, how you say, Krabby Patty.
And just like its price tag, it's hung up on the finer things in life, not like Krabby Patties. And so off the spatula goes, sprouting out legs it just always had apparently, and to put a cherry on top of everything...
I gave up everything for you!
Robot legs and a giant robot fist, and an AI or something fueling it. Again, I got no clue what type of tech is powering this thing, but to say it's advanced would be an understatement. And speaking of advanced, let's talk about the most advanced robot in the entire series, this guy.
Hurry, Gary! The scary robot movie's on!
What do you mean you think it's just a guy in that suit? That's a real bloodthirsty hunk of metal. Alright, yeah, this is just the robot from the scary movie SpongeBob watches in Crabborg. The very same scary robot that would then make SpongeBob think Mr. Krabs is a robot, but, I mean, can you blame him? I mean, glowing red eyes, giant evil pincher, and battery powered? I mean, that checks all the boxes. And speaking of evil guys, here's his brother.
Greetings, IMDX294888.
Yeah, more box bots. Though apparently this guy has more going on underneath the cardboard than it seems.
Attack, attack.
How does everyone in SpongeBob just have access to laser technology? I mean, here in present day, on the surface, we don't even got real laser guns. But apparently under the water, and even back in the pirate caveman ages, there's just lasers aplenty. For those who don't remember, Patchy the Pirate and Potty have war over which is better, the past or the future, and in the end, Potty figures things out. Why should we have to choose?
Pretty sweet, eh?
I mean, honestly, yeah, it is pretty sweet, Potty. Moving along from the prehistoric SpongeBob special, we're moving on to a Christmas special robot, and yes, it is yet another Plankton bot. We're looking at Toy Bob. But why would Plankton need a town-destroying SpongeBot? Well, in this special, Plankton is tired of getting coal for Christmas and decides if he wants Santa to deliver his Christmas wish of the Krabby Patty secret formula, then he's got to make everyone even worse than him so he seems good in comparison. And so he decides he's going to go around town and give the Bikini Bottomites fruitcake laced with jerktonium, the element that makes you jerky. Allow me to show you what that means.
Do we come here to sing or eat fancy cake?
See, that guy's a jerk now. The only issue is the cake doesn't work on SpongeBob because, well, he's SpongeBob. He's too cheery to realize most of these Plankton bots are robots in the first place. So Plankton decides to ruin SpongeBob's reputation the old-fashioned way. Impersonation.
I am ready. I am ready. Joy Christmas.
All right, we're back to the question of how this thing can produce fire underwater. At least we can see this thing doesn't run on electricity. It's a toy, so it uses a crank, so we got that one cinched. But I mean, surely with just a toy crank, this thing can't be that powerful.
SpongeBob, give me back my door.
I stand corrected. We can check super strength off the list, flamethrower too. Now we just need this thing to either double its size or shoot lasers. Well, there we go. It doubled its size. What do you know? And yeah, it really doesn't do much more in this form. It just shoots out more fire up its nose and throws SpongeBob around, only for Spongy to clog his vents with fruitcake and cause it to explode. Santa gives Plankton coal and Christmas is saved, because yet again, Plankton's inventions have one fatal flaw that could have been avoided if he was just a smidge more competent. I am really getting tired of having to talk about how Plankton screws up his robots. Thankfully, that was the last one, and I've saved some of my favorites for last. First of which being this guy, the Weenie Bot from Weenie Hut Juniors. What does he do? Well, he's a waiter with a special talent.
My sensors indicate that you are a weenie.
Now that is humiliating and all, but this is taking things to the next level.
For another Sunday, weenie.
I am not a weenie.
He's just rubbing it in his face. Thankfully, he actually gives SpongeBob the idea to fake a fight so he doesn't look like a weenie in front of the guys at the Salty Spitone, but as for the other Weenie Hut Juniors customers...
Hey, how come you never help us out with our problems?
I am a robot, not a miracle worker.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, those guys are shaped like weenies. I don't think they're ever beating the weenie allegations. That sounds weird. And finally, let's end things off with the SpongeBob of the future.
SpongeBob? No! I am SpongeTron.
Easy mistake to make. I'm sure Patton has the same issue. After Squiddy accidentally freezes himself for 2,000 years, he wakes up in the future and is thawed out by SpongeTron, who can fly with his jet legs. Don't question it. Also, everything is chrome in the future, and SpongeTron has clones. Squidward, don't question it. Well, I mean, can't say I'd be helped if a brick fell on my head, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Also, why does SpongeTron store a brick in his head? Nothing is making sense. I mean, the name screams that this is a robot SpongeBob, but he seems pretty natural to me. Honestly, I'm just lost.
Jellyfishing?
Hi, Patron.
Okay, that doesn't help. Is Patton a robot too? Are they androids? Does that count? Is this like cyberpunk or something? If so, how does that technology work? You know what? I give up, dude. And that is a big ol' run-through of all Bikini Bottom's most nonsensical technology. I hope you enjoyed it because I've melted my brain going through all of it. And if you did enjoy, click the vid on screen right about now to inject some more cartoon content directly into your eye holes. Like the video if you liked it, leave a comment if you feel like it. Alrighty, y'all. Subscribe too, also. Thank y'all for watching. Bye-bye.